Another story that's running this week, of course, is the one involving Theresa May, who's trying to get a deal for Britain leaving the European Union through Parliament soon. And it's a deal that is catastrophic. I said just within an hour on the internet of the Brexit referendum being announced that it was a vote out by the British public, that this was just the start, because these bureaucrats and these European Union obsessives in Britain were not going to go quietly. And again, it's the progressive mentality, the Soros mentality, that is pressing to stop Brexit. And Soros is funding groups in Britain, even though he's American and Hungarian. He's funding groups in Britain to try to stop Brexit. But people like Hate Not Hope, of course, support staying in the European Union, and thus will say nothing against Soros, and anyone who says anything is a racist. So this is a dog's breakfast, as we say in Britain. It's total mess and total chaos, and was planned to be from the start. We now have a situation where all the aces have been handed to the European Union bureaucrats by Theresa May. And if, therefore, we don't agree to what they want ultimately, then we stay in a situation where we have to abide by their laws indefinitely while having no say in the creation of them. The whole idea of Brexit was to disconnect Britain from control by bureaucrats in Brussels, and what she's done is increased it. And she never wanted it, Theresa May, the Prime Minister. She never wanted Brexit. And it comes to something, and it's a real telltale sign of what this is all about, that she's appointed 2 Brexit secretaries to negotiate Brexit, and both have resigned because basically they weren't allowed to do the job, and the European bureaucrats were being allowed to rule the roost. So it will be interesting to see what happens when it comes to a vote in Parliament soon over whether they're going to accept this ludicrous deal or not. At the moment, the numbers say they're absolutely not. And if they don't, well, Theresa May is going to have to step down. I mean, you can't stay as Prime Minister when you've negotiated this ridiculous deal, tried to get it through Parliament, and it's been voted down. The same person can't now go to the European Union and say, oh, well, we've got to renegotiate. They're saying they won't. And if Brexit was going to happen as the people voted for it to happen, then there had to be a very committed and intelligent, streetwise, pro-Brexit Brexit secretary who was given free rein to go and negotiate. Because what has happened is that May has basically indicated all along that they want a deal with the European Union, and they don't want to have a situation where they just walk away. Britain walks away and just creates its own trade agreement. And so if you're negotiating with someone over something like this, or a business deal or something, then both sides have to retain the right to walk away. Because if one side says, well, whatever happens, I'm not walking away. Well, the other side has all the aces, don't they? Because they know that they can pitch their side of the negotiation and what they want and demand on the basis of knowing that whatever they offer, the other side's not walking away. And we've been in this deficit, this financial deficit to the European Union. The European Union gets more off Britain than we get off the European Union. And therefore the European Union has more to lose. And if she'd have gone in and said, well, look, this is what we want. We might be prepared to negotiate a little bit, but this is what we want. And these are the red lines which the Brexit referendum voted for. And if we don't get them, then we will walk away. Well, you know, these corporations in Europe, they have all these stunning amounts of lobbyists, tens of thousands of them, around the European Union. These big corporations that would stand to lose a massive market in Britain, they're going to start kicking off if it looks like this is going to happen, because they're going to lose big time. But she never went in like that. She went in halfway down onto her knees to start with. And this is the outcome, where they basically said, this is how it is, and that's it. And she's gone, oh, yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And she's calling it the only Brexit deal possible. Well, it's not. And she's saying, she's warning MPs that rejecting this Brexit deal would put the UK back to square one. Well, okay then. Because square one is much better than what you've negotiated, which is nothing. And let's have someone replace her who is a serious Brexiteer and will say, okay, walking away is an option. But of course she's in there. The people around her are in there, in the shadows, to stop Britain leaving the control of the European Union. And there's another aspect of this, of course, and that is that the European Union bureaucrats, those that control them from the shadows, want to use this as an example to other countries, with all these populist parties coming to power, to other countries. This is what happens if you want to leave the European Union tyranny. This is what happens. As a disincentive to do so. And she's done a terrible disservice to Britain and the British people, and a terrible disservice to other people in other European countries in gathering numbers that want to leave the European Union.